All right, guys, welcome back. So we're going to do another video here. This is like one that I've done in the past where I set up a Minecraft server on a dedicated Linux system for my kids. And this is going to be an updated version of that. We're going to use the Minecraft Spigot server as well so that you can add mods. And maybe I'll make a video about that. But I just wanted to show how you start up and build a Minecraft server, the latest version of Minecraft. Use Spigot as well. Spigot is pretty hard to build, honestly, and so I created some build script for that, and I'll show you how to do the build script. We're just going to create a shell file for that, a bash script for that, and so you can use it again and again for different versions of the Minecraft server that you're building for. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is I'm not going to use Oracle Java. I'm going to use the OpenJDK. And we're going to go ahead and get started with, this is a brand new Linux OS. It's Ubuntu 24.4.1, I think is the version. I guess I should have looked that up beforehand. And so it doesn't really matter if it's that specific version. I just went and downloaded the latest LTS, which is the long-term support version of it. And I just went and used that. So if you want to use a newer one, that's, you're watching this video in 6 months or something, you can do that. So it is this version here, which you can see is 24041 LTS. So that's the latest one on their website. I literally just installed it. So the first thing I want to do is let's go log in as root. And then I want to do an apt update. And we'll do an apt upgrade on it too, just to make sure that everything is up to date, which it probably is not. So we'll go ahead and let it do that. It's a quick little thing. Pretty fresh install, like I was saying earlier, so it doesn't have a ton to update. Just as a side thought here, it is a good idea to update your system frequently. So if you've got something like this, or after you've built this and are using it, make sure you come in and do updates on it. You want to make sure your stuff is as updated as possible, avoiding any of those security concerns, especially since you're going to expose this probably to the internet, so your outside of your house friends can play Minecraft with you. You're not going to do that part. It's not as risky, but having things exposed to the internet, it definitely increases your risk factor. And so it's important to make sure that you're up to date if you are exposed externally, is what we call it in the network world. All right, so the first thing we want to do is download the latest OpenJDK. Now, I got this from, I guess I should have put a link there for this. I'll go ahead and update this and put a little link here on where I got this from, but it is official. It's from java.net. And so we're going to go ahead and just copy this wget command here. And we're going to go ahead and download the OpenJDK installer, our gzip file. And then I'm going to extract that right into user local. And what it's going to do is create a JDK-23.0.1 in that user local. So if we do an ls on this, you can see JDK 23.01. Now, if we look inside that spot folder or directory, you can see it's got the Java components, bin being where the binaries are, and that's where the executable for Java will be. So right now, if you say Java, you can see that it's not found, right? But that's because it's not in path. It's not pathed anywhere. Paths basically means, like, if you type the command and it's not in the current folder, it searches other paths. Well, in Linux, if you don't do a / anyways, it doesn't even search current folder. So if it's not in the pathing anywhere, then it's not going to run. So what we want to do, I'm going to use update alternatives, is we're going to go ahead and install an update alternative for this version of Java, so that when you run Java, it'll use that. Now, I like update alternatives because you can have multiple versions of Java on the same system, and you can kind of switch between them using this update alternatives. It creates the link for you. And actually, the link it's going to create is under user bin Java. That's the link it's going to create, and it's going to link to Java executable here under this folder. No, sorry. Java's already in the path. So it's gonna create a symbolic link to this folder for you, and it manages that link for you. And we're gonna say one is the priority for this version of Java. And there's only one right now anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but let's go ahead and just validate that. So if we say list Java, you can see that it's got one in there. If you try to config it, I believe it'll tell you there's only one and you can't really do anything with it anyways. Oh, I was wrong. So it's got, for some reason, it has two. Not sure why it has two there, but it's the correct version of Java is selected. You can do auto mode or manual mode for that. We'll just keep it at 0. Now if you type Java, it should run something. Perfect. So now if I say Java dash version, I get the version. So that's OpenJDK 23.0.1 that we just downloaded. Now, so we got Java running, and Minecraft runs on Java, so that's what we need to get this thing started. The next thing we want to do is create a user to run the Java or the Minecraft server under. And in the past, for other tutorials like Arc and stuff that I've created, I just used like a standard password. I think I just typed SISM1234 there. It's probably not best practice to encourage you guys to do crappy passwords like that. And so even if you're not going to use this password, which we're not going to, it's probably a good idea to just create some large random one. And so there's a password generator that I use occasionally called onepassword.com. And so if you click on this link, it should open a tab for 1Password and say, hey, let's create a password. And 20 characters is probably pretty good. I wouldn't recommend symbols. I hate cookies. I really actually hate the pop-ups. I wouldn't necessarily recommend symbols as much. I mean, it is more secure if you do symbols, but you run into some problems depending on what system you're using with certain symbols. And so it's safe to just do something like this, which is what I did, and that's where I came up with this. It's a good idea that you don't use my example directly. You come and generate your own like that. All right, so let's go ahead and create that user. Oops. Guess I need to update the command. I'll fix that. It needs to be a slash in front of this. Go. And all right, so the next thing we want to do is install Minecraft server, so download the jar file, and then also install and download the Spigot build tools jar, which does a whole bunch of work as it builds through the Spigot binaries or Java binaries. So what I want to do though is I want to install this in the MC server user folder that we just created. So if you go look at your users under /home, you can see MC servers created. So that's where we're going to put this. So I've got a command here that says make directory Minecraft under MC server. So we'll go ahead and do that. You can copy paste the command directly if you want, or you can type it like I did. And I'm going to go ahead and change directory into that Minecraft server, and you can see there's nothing in it. So the first thing I want to do is create a file called build spigot. Oh my gosh, .shell. I'm using VI, which is I personally like this editor. It's kind of clunky if you're not used to it. Fine, you don't have to know a whole lot. If you get into this right here, like you can't just start typing. You have to first initiate like insert mode or some kind of edit mode. And so you hit I and it goes into insert mode. And then I'm going to take and copy this whole block here. And we're going to paste it in here. So I just want to make sure it looks good. No weird carriage returns or anything. Looks fine to me. Okay, so one thing I wanted to mention is the paths here for the Minecraft server jar file and the Spigot build tools jar file. I got those directly from these Minecraft server download links. So if I click on this, it says download the Minecraft server jar and run it with the following commands. So this is literally the jar file here. If you copy this link, and I can validate that for you if you want to see. So we'll just enter there and I'll paste it so you can see. That's identical. So that's exactly where I got that one from. And then also the build tools is the same. So if you go to the build tools page and you go down to, well, I've got a weird view. It's technically be on the right, but there's got this build tools jar file. So you'll copy the link here. And if you look, we'll just test for fun, just so you can see that it's identical. You can see it's literally the same stuff. So that's where I got those two links from when I created this. And so wget's just going to download them for you in this script. And the reason I'm doing it as a script is because you'll probably want to use this again later once Minecraft releases a new version of Java, new version of the Minecraft server, and you just update the version number here, and obviously you update your links. And then it'll go ahead and build it with that new version. So let's go ahead and save it. I got to hit escape to get out of edit mode, which looks like I already was. And then you type the colon key. You can see it at the bottom there, and it says WQ, which is write and quit. So that means save and quit. So we go ahead and save and quit. So we're done editing this build spigot.shell. I want to make it executable, so I'm going to go ahead and run that chmod +x on it. Now I'm going to go ahead and create another shell. And I'm actually going to create a couple more of these shell bash scripts rather, that you can use This one's the clean build files, because after Spigot gets done building, it has a whole bunch of remnants that it leaves, and you probably want to clean it out because it's pretty messy. So I'm going to go ahead and create a script for that. It deletes all this stuff. And let's go ahead and paste that in there. That's actually interesting that it's Apache Maven 360. So that may not be the version. This is slightly old script I've been using. We'll see what happens when we run that and work on it together. And then I want to go ahead and make that clean build files executable. We're going to make a reset permissions script. And this is a really simple script of just changing the permissions of everything in the current folder. So the current Minecraft folder will have, it needs to be, everything in this folder needs to be readable, writable, etc. by the MC server user. And so we just want to make sure if we did anything in root that the files aren't root, because the MC server, even though it's in its home folder, won't be able to actually use or edit or anything of those files. And I'll give you an example. Like if we do LL, you can see that all these files we just created are all root, which means the MC server account can't even, well, it can read them. So you can see there's read and execute. So technically you could read these, but it's in its own home folder, right? Home MC server, and it's not allowed to edit them. Just, that's fine if that's what you want to do, but that's not what we want. We want the MC server to eventually be able to modify the files as well. So we'll go ahead and do a reset permissions when we're done with this whole thing. So now let's go ahead and edit the start MC bash script. This is the script that's going to run when the server executes. So we'll go ahead and copy this. I'm going to paste it in there. And basically, oh, it has some remnants of my server. And I'll edit the file here. Here we go. Okay. It actually has a bunch of noise here. I'll have to edit all of this out. Yeah, that would be more accurate of what the script should look like. Okay, so MC server Minecraft folder, get the version number from a version text file that gets created by the build Spigot bash script, and then we're going to run Java with some parameters of how much RAM it's allowed to use, and then we're going to apply or run the Spigot version jar. Okay, so we'll go ahead and right quit that. So start MC. Again, this is going to be used by the daemon or the service, so we'll go ahead and put an execute bit on that one. And then the next thing I want to do, and I don't know how well this is going to work, so we're going to run this together. It's actually out of order, to be honest with you, because we haven't run the build Spigot. So I'm definitely going to need to run that build Spigot thing here first. And actually, that's funny, I did not put it in there as an action. So there needs to be right here before we get to these commands, we actually need to run this build Spigot shell. So I'm going to go ahead and run it as root and see what happens. So you can see it downloaded the server jar, downloaded the build jar, build tools jar, and then it's going to actually do a whole bunch of compiling and whatever execution is in that build script from Spigot. And this probably takes a few minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording. All right, so I was right. It took about 4 minutes. You can see total time here, 3 minutes, 53 seconds. And it said it was successful, so it went ahead and created the actual Spigot jar, which is what we're going to use as our Minecraft server. Again, I was talking about using Spigot server instead of the dedicated Minecraft server. So the server jar that you download from Minecraft is just used as part of the build process for Spigot. So it's actually not using this server jar, and I believe you could technically delete it. We'll just leave it there for now, but it's used when you use the build tools and then build this Spigot jar. So it does look like the clean build files script is not necessarily needed, frankly, because there's nothing left over here. There's no remnants, and I'm assuming that's because the build was successful. Maybe when the build fails, you have a bunch of remnants left over. So I don't know if that clean build script is necessary, but you can keep it there. Clean build file script is necessary, but you can keep it there if you'd like to, so it's up to you. The next thing we're going to do, though, is we are going to try to start the Java server or the Minecraft server, and we're going to just start it for one reason, to get the EULA and the whitelist and OP settings in there. So I have var java-var java-jar, my gosh, server.jar, and again, that's the Minecraft server, so that's fine. We can go ahead and run that command. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. We're going to run this. It's going to start the Minecraft server temporarily. And I believe now it should have created some things. Yeah, that's what I thought. You need to agree to the EULA before you can run the server. So that's fine. So what I think it did, though, is it created a whole bunch of things. And so you can see that it has the EULA.txt, and that's the file that we were trying to create. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this EULA text as explained here in my example. And we're just going to go ahead and say EULA equals true. Save that. And now we've got a good EULA. Because that's important, right? Agreeing to the user agreement. All right, so then we're going to start it again. And this time what we want to do is let it try to get all the way through. And it should. And then what we want to do is go ahead and set yourself as OP and add yourself to the whitelist. And so it's going to take a little bit of time because it has to spawn the new world. So, and that's fine. If you want to reset the world, I can show you how to do that too. So it says it's done. Okay, so it's ready. So you could type in OP and then whatever your Minecraft username is. And then if you want to do a whitelist, it's /whitelist add. And it should add them to the whitelist as well. Obviously, put your username in there. You don't have to put mine in there. And then, and you can put your friends in there as well. So whatever you want to put in there, you can do that now, or you can also do it after you get the Minecraft server up and running. And you can then connect to it now because of this. If you didn't put these in here and you enabled or enforced the whitelist, I don't believe that even you could connect to it from a Minecraft client or the Minecraft game because you're not in the whitelist. Now, if you're not setting the whitelist settings, like I'm going to explain in a little bit down here, under server properties, and this whitelist piece is not as important. The OP part probably is, because I don't think anybody could just connect into, including yourself, couldn't connect in your Minecraft server and just stay OP. OP is, like the operator or admin type permissions. And so we're going to go ahead and say exit. Nope, maybe it's just Control-C to quit. And the next thing we want to do is I'm just going to show you what those files look like. So it created two files, whitelist.json and ops.json. So if you say cat ops, you can see that. And if you said cat whitelist, you can see that. Okay, so that's what it did. So it's a little harder to just go in and edit these files yourself because I don't know the UID of my account. And so, and then the structure of the JSON, right? You got to make sure that you get it right. Otherwise, you'll have issues with that program running, I'm assuming. And so it's a good idea to just do it the way that we showed you here by running the server.jar. All right, so next we're going to do is we're going to create a Minecraft service or daemon so that Minecraft just runs in the background and it runs as the MC user, not as root or whatever you're signed in as. It's an automatic service that starts when the server boots. So we're going to go ahead and edit this systemd file, and we're going to paste in all the text from here. I went ahead and put insert in before I pasted it, just so you didn't, I don't know if you noticed that. And then also the exec start, you can see it's that start mc.shell, which is that bash script that we wrote earlier on. And I'm just going to go ahead and right click for this. So now we've got a service out there. We're going to go ahead and do a daemon reload. The reason we do that is it needs to reread the folder and include this Minecraft service as an option. So now if you did like status on this, you could see that it's an actual service that you could have ran. Now, if you didn't do a daemon reload and you did the status Minecraft, it'd say that doesn't exist. All right, so I need to update the piece here in the code. I'll go ahead and update that because the reality is we cannot start the Minecraft server yet because because the permissions, right? So if you look at the permissions here, everything is currently root, which means if it tried to run as the MC user, which is what this service runs as, you can see user, MC user, it doesn't have permissions to any of this stuff. It has read, but has no rights. So the world wouldn't actually work. So one last thing we're going to do though, is we're going to edit the server properties file, which by the way, got created because we started started Minecraft temporarily, just to do the EULA and the OP and whitelist of my user. So now we're going to come in here and edit a couple different things, and I put them in bold. So enable whitelist, or enforce whitelist rather. Put insert mode on is false. I'm going to say true, and then MOTD is like message of the day. So you could just be like my epic Minecraft server, something different if you want. And then whitelist is true down here at the bottom. And you can set other stuff. You can Google what any of these might mean and change some things if you'd like PvP, you could say false, and then players can't kill each other. Maybe that's what you'd like. So we could put that there too. Make it false like this, and we'll go ahead and right quit. So now we've edited the server properties. And then the next thing we want to do is the reset perms. So if we say reset permissions, we made that script earlier. It's going to take everything in this folder and change it to MC server. So now you can see instead of root, it's MC server. Perfect. Exactly what we want. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is a systemctl enable, and I didn't put that in the script either, or the steps. So enable Minecraft would mean that it's going to enable it as an auto run when you reboot this Linux box. So you want to do that, I think, because otherwise, if you restart the server, like the VM itself, then you won't automatically start the Minecraft server. So now we'll go ahead and say systemctl start Minecraft, and it should run it as the MC user, and it's going to run the Spigot jar. Let's see what's happening. So we'll say start. That was pretty fast. Let's look at status. Oh, look at that. Service is active and running, which is good. You can see the loading libraries. Please wait. So keep doing status if you'd like. It'll eventually... Wow, it crashed. That's crazy, bro. Gotta pause it for a sec. Okay, so we're back. I honestly don't know exactly what caused that. You can see the Minecraft server is still running, so it's not like the Minecraft daemon died. The server uptime is 29 minutes, so the server did not reboot. So why it dropped my SSH connection, I'm not sure. That is kind of odd. So I'd be curious to hear if anybody else had that issue when they did this. I'm guessing we're good. I don't have any reason to believe that this is not working as intended. And might have just been a glitch on my end with maybe the network out here in my gym shed caused some kind of blip, and it was just coincidence that it was right at the same time. Not really sure there. All right, the last thing I want to talk about is if you want to expose this externally to your friends, you have to do a port forward on your firewall to this VM or this Linux host that you're running your Minecraft server on. I want to throw out a caveat there that when you expose stuff to the internet, you're poking a hole through your firewall, and yes, it's supposed to be for one port. I get that. It's just the Minecraft port, and it's just to this one Linux VM, but somebody at some point in time, if you don't update your stuff, might find an exploit on a Minecraft server that allows them to gain access to that server. I don't know of any today, but that's obviously a concern, and it's real. Like, it could happen. Its likelihood might be very minimal, but it could happen, and especially if you're running old versions of Minecraft or you're running a non-updated version of the OS. So I would highly recommend that you keep your OS up to date. Again, that's the apt update and apt upgrade if you're using Ubuntu. And then if you're going to expose it externally, and you can add firewall rules, you can rule them out to just your friends' IP addresses or IP subnets, just not the entire internet. That's how I technically do mine. And just maybe only run the server when you want friends to connect to it. But I'm just throwing that out there because when you poke holes through your firewall with the port forward, you are exposing yourself at least with one port to something internal. And if they were able to get in, they could, maybe move laterally over to some other systems and get some data. Now, likelihood again is low, but it's there. So I just thought I'd mention that. So at this point, I think the Minecraft server is ready to go. It's running Spigot. You should be able to connect to it. The world is freshen up, and you should be able to give your IP address to your friends once you've got it exposed externally with a port forward, and they can connect. If it's on the same home network, a couple of your family members, you should be able to connect directly to the IP address of your Linux server. So pretty easy to do that when you're connecting to a game in Minecraft. And then one last thing I think we wanted to do was, I think that was it actually. I think I have anything else that I wanted to bring up. I think the only other thing I wanted to bring up actually is I did mention about if you want to clear the world, it's real easy to do. You would just stop your Minecraft server. So systemctl stop Minecraft. We can go ahead and do it. I'm going to stop the service. And then what you want to do is just delete these world folders that are in this Minecraft folder. So as soon as this thing stops, geez. All right, so mine finally stopped. It took a little while. So what you want to do is delete these world files. So if you say rm-rf and you say world star like that, it should delete those 3 folders only. So we'll go ahead and do that, and you can see they're gone. Now if you were to say systemctl start Minecraft, and then we go ahead and do a status, you can see that it's now running. And what it should eventually do is say there's no world found, and it'll generate them. Well, maybe just generate. There it is. Working on it. World and world nether are currently created. And eventually you'll get the end. There you go. So that just generated the world. Now keep in mind that deletes everything, right? So if you had a bunch of stuff in your world, that's all gone now. So that's how you could reset your world. All right, so I think that's it for this video. Appreciate it. You guys watching it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to get to them and help you out. Thanks again.